did you want to take Love and Marriage back to your hometown?
You know, for me, I love creating shows in cities where it doesn't get a lot of shine in the world because, you know, they think all successful Black folks live in Atlanta. Right? Child, they think we only go in Atlanta, honey. So with Huntsville being successful, DC being successful, I wanted to select another town that I felt needed is just due and also give back to my hometown as well by putting some love into the city of Detroit. And these three couples represent the new generation of Detroit. And when you look at the show, as you saw the first episode, they're entrepreneurs, they're beautiful, but they also have a lot of messy stuff going on in their lives that, you know, look, we like a little mess.
We love a lot of mess when it comes to franchise reality shows based on couples. Okay,
Yes.
so with that said, what can you tease us with the mess that we're going to see this season? I mean, any standout moments with any particular couples? Any highlights you can lure us in? I mean, we're already intrigued. I need to be further
Okay, so
lured,
you
Mr.
saw,
King.
yes. Okay, so you saw the first episode, right?
Yes.
So you saw how it ended, right?
Yes.
Question for you, were you shocked?
No, because here's the thing. I felt from the very beginning, somebody wasn't honest, somebody was lying. And I said to myself, I told the previous couple this, right? There's one couple who I want to see come the end of this season, if they're even still together. Oh, Brandon and Christina.
Well, I knew you were talking about them, honey bunny. So what I will say is you have seen nothing yet.
I figured as
The
much.
the first episode gives you just a little percentage of what to expect from this couple for the rest of the season, and it gets more shocking and deep.
So on that note, Mr. King, how do you curate these shows? How do you know which couples have the it factor needed to draw us in, us the viewers, keep us entertained, keep us talking about them on social media? I mean, look at me. I've only seen one episode, like I've said, and I'm already like Brandon and Christina. They are gonna give me the business. I can already tell. So how do you know that these people are right for television?
You know, I know a star when I see one. You know, and one of the elements of that is people who are so transparent when it comes to what they're going through. Because look, if you look at our lives, mine and yours included, there's elements of our lives, right? That's a little dramatic, but I ain't showing it, and you ain't either, child. So that's why I'm not meant to be on reality television. I'm meant to produce it, and you're meant to be a journalist, child, because you'd like to be nosy like me. So you got to find people who are willing and comfortable to showcase to the world what they're going through. So when you think about the other franchises from Huntsville to DC, what people like about this franchise is relatable couples who are going through something that either we know somebody who's going through or child we may be going through ourselves. But it's relatable. And Brenda and Christina, the moment I met them throughout their casting process, it was their level of authenticity and transparency that I fell in love with. And I will say this, they do not disappoint.
You know what I realized for the first time, after going through the Love and Marriage episodes with the various franchises, right? So after watching this episode, the first episode of this Detroit season today, for the first time it hit me. I said to myself, Carlos King is a mad scientist. I'm sure of it because I feel like he might be this is a social experiment for couples from my point of view because you're testing the relationship on, you're testing loyalty, you're testing honesty, you're testing patience. I don't know if the couples are aware of this, right? It became clear to me while I was watching this episode. Oh, I get it now. Carlos King has been giving us a social experiment for years, and I just figured it out. What say you to that, sir?
You know, look, after producing years of television for other shows that really dealt with the female ensemble relationships, I always felt that there was something missing about couples because my parents were married for 50 years, 50. And honey, they went through ups, downs, rounds and bounds, squares, rectangles, all that child. So I grew up understanding the the dramatics of how couples can be, regardless of race. You do know what I mean? It's all about the relationship. So you are right. It is a social experiment of what do these couples be going through, child, that I haven't seen on television. And I think when you look at all reality shows, you haven't really seen a reality show that focuses on the couple and what's going on inside the house. And that to me is going to be interesting. And what I will say, in a few more episodes, you're going to see how Colby revealing what was going on with Brandon, it's going to come back to haunt her, and then all hell breaks loose. And
I
it
can't
has
wait.
a lot to do with not just the female friends, Colby and Christina, but the friendship between Russell and Brandon. And then these two couples sort of have it out.
Every time you drop a new show, you make a point to go on social media to see what your fans, newcomers, Black Twitter, love and marriage lovers, what they have to say about your latest offering. How important is the social media feedback to your work?
Listen, I love engaging with my audience. I call them the raindrops. So I love them, and I just love the engagement with them. Now, look, I don't listen to everything they say now, child, because I know what I'm doing, and I know you got to take things with a grain of salt. But there's always some truth and honesty within the tweets that I'm like, oh, that's interesting take on this situation. So I love the engagement, and it's fun, and it's a way for the audience to feel like they're in on the process by having this relationship with the creator of the franchise and hearing them out, right? And responding to them and, engaging with them. I know that's important. And I know in this day and age, the engagement with your audience is super important for the success of the show. So I will always continue doing that to the best of my ability.